Welcome, NACSMA members. This is a continuation of our series of interviews with contact center professionals. Welcome, Kevin Bryan.
Hey, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you letting me be on with you today. And hello, NACSMA members.
Perfect. Well, Kevin has a great conversation with us today in regard to IVRs and conversational voice. And so we're going to talk to him and ask him some great questions so he can give us his insight on those products and services. Kevin, can you explain to us what an IVR is?
Sure. Well, IVRs have been around for a very long time, way back even in the rudimentary days where, it was hard pressed to sound anything normal. But basically what an IVR is, it's just a way for a caller to get into a system and kind of navigate through a couple of push buttons to get to a certain area that they need to do before they get to a call center agent. Maybe it answers a few questions that they're asking or things like that. But for years, it's been a way to kind of get into and talk to people at the call center and now a contact center for a solution to a problem that the client may have or a question they may have.
Perfect. So how does IVRs utilize conversational voice? Because you're an expert in that field.
Right. So one of the things we've done, way back in the day when the 900 numbers were still a cool thing, we were doing things for companies all the time. We did the voiceovers for GamePro magazine. So you could call a 900 number, get some information there, hot tips. We were the cool kids on the block for a while when my kids were able to get the Zelda codes a week in advance. So it's kind of more from that all the way to now, the big phrase that people like to use is customer experience. And the most important thing is when a caller gets to your phone system, be it the ABC Mortgage Company or the XYZ Airlines or whoever it is, you want to make sure that when you get there, that they're navigated to an area that can get them to what they need and get it done quickly and efficiently. And that's where the conversational part of everything is morphed into. And one of the nice things about the way things are now is it's done quickly and it's done with several things now. Even virtual agents are becoming a thing now. The intelligent virtual agent, the IVA, as the acronyms are for a lot of what people are using now, are becoming quite the way to get in and out before they get to an agent. And one of the things that we do at Digital Base is we actually provide that human touch to those voiceovers and the customer experience that everybody's looking for with a conversational voice.
So in the conversational voice, what you're saying is it's a real individual who's recording the script for audio, number one, and it's not digitized, it's not an automated voice, so it sounds softer, and so it helps the caller feel more comfortable in the conversation with the IVR, and so they can be guided in a more customer service and focused type approach. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so one of the things that is becoming normal now is typing in something and then it comes out as a spoken voice. And we've all kind of been on those systems where it's a little bit clunky and people pick up on that. Now, as technology has advanced, it's really becoming awesome. AI, artificial intelligence, is amazing. Lots of things it can do. But people still want to feel like they're talking to a human. And that's where that human touch with an IVR is very important. And one of the things you got to understand is, Stephen, is it's still probably one of the first things a client hears when they get in contact with that company, be it again, the ABC company or the XYZ company. So that first impression, that first customer experience is a key element now to how things are navigated. For example, let's take, all the different automations. My mom, for example, I was on the phone with her yesterday and we were getting through to AARP and talking to her about her Medicare. Well, you don't need to have somebody just flying through something. You need to have somebody that understands the client that you're trying to appeal to. So the spoken text needs to be a little bit slower. Or for like my youngest daughter, Forever 21, she's on there. She's used to doing different things. Another key thing to understand is the omni-channel approach. And that's probably one of the questions we were going to talk about, but it's now a good time to talk to it. The younger generation is now getting in with the SMS, the website, different things. So you have to have different channels that you can contact people with. Chatbots are becoming a thing now. And it's all about how you can navigate through all that. So that's one of the things that we try and provide, as an industry, is that experience, which whatever, channel they approve and approach you with, you have to have the best foot forward approach is how we feel.
And so that also kind of goes into your point about global voice, which is that all the audio on your phone system, your IVR, everything that's omni-channel, even voicemails, for individuals per se, should be, the similar voice, so that there's a consistent branding for your company across the board. Is that probably a good analogy when it comes to, or example?
That's a great analogy. That's one of the things we try and talk to our clients about. I mean, you're spot on with that, Stephen. That's exactly what it is, because, when people call, they don't want to get hit with a male voice here and then a female voice here. We try and provide the proper persona throughout, so they don't get confused by, wait a second, why did I just hear a guy tell me something about this? And again, having the human touch to everything that we do, because we are a global society now, you have to have the ability to reach your Spanish speakers, your Asian speakers, your peoples from, Germany or wherever. And that's the thing. And with the human touch, we're still able to provide that capabilities and actually help the programming get through, because we actually don't want somebody to be translated into thinking they're eating a shoe with cheese on it. That's just not something we did. Case in point, one of the use cases I like to throw out there, and I'm not going to name the company, but we translated something for them after they had done it with AI, and they had actually translated the car, the Crown Victoria, from Ford into the Queen of England. And there were about 80 other subtle differences on, hey, you kind of can't be literal about it. You actually have to know. And like in Korean, you have to add in a little subtle extra digit to just say numbers. And that's where we step in and kind of help with the programmers. We can kind of guide them on where it needs to be. I mean, even in Spanish, time is backwards. 12:30 is actually 30:12. So those are little subtle things that in my part of the industry, we still have a nice little niche, an area to where we can at least be a good consultant to talk to. And I'm sure, you continue to send, different things to us that we voice daily. So that's the thing. I think the AI is great, but I think a lot of people still are looking forward to that human touch.
So what you're saying is that from a branding perspective, as a company, I should ensure that the audio that my customers hear in the IVR, in the IVA, interactive intelligence of any form or fashion, voicemails, omni-channel, my global voice, if you will, to my client should be consistent across the board, so that my branding is consistent to the client, that I'm a professional organization. Is that probably a good summary?
Yeah, that's a great summary. And here's one of the things too. The nice thing about, having the ability to have that kind of a reach is we also do radio and TV commercials. And so that voice that's on your IVR could also be the voice for your radio and TV commercials. Because here's what's going to happen. They call 1-800-ENTERPRISE and they hear the same voice that talked them into using Enterprise on the TV commercial is the same voice that's on the IVR. And the same thing with a Spanish voice. You're in the Hispanic market, and all of a sudden, they get the TV, or they saw the YouTube video, or they saw a little bit of micro training that said, hey, here's how you can do this. And then they call to follow up on that response that it triggered. And all of a sudden that same voice is greeting them. So it's already a familiarity. You always go back to where you're familiar. It's hard to go into a new place. And that's something we all struggle with at times is, how do you keep up your corporate branding? How do you make sure, people remember who you are? And it's, we all, as soon as we drive up on it, we know what those golden arches are, right? So it's the same thing with the voice. You need an understandable voice. The LeBron James, you can automatically know what commercials he's doing right now because he's doing Father Time. They're going off the brand that you've got a famous NBA guy. It's all about the recognition, so that person who calls in feels comfortable knowing that they feel like they know that person instead of a stranger. And that's why it's so important to have a matching persona, throughout, because they don't want to change. Imagine you're talking to your mom, all of a sudden your dad hops on, kind of that analogy. It's like, wait, how did you get in? That's kind of the feel that you want. You want to keep your clients comfortable on the call, and you want to make it match from start to finish, be it a TV, a web, a video they did, the e-learning, all the way to their audio on hold and to their IVR as they get through it. And I think that's the importance of why an IVR is so important, and why people are talking about conversational, voiceovers and conversational AI, and how important it is for that customer experience. Everybody talks about CX, customer experience is like huge. And that's why, because we are living in a microwave society where it is a push button and you are a go, and you have to get people to and from everything that they do with the greatest of ease. It's almost like a circus out there, right?
Well, this has been a great conversation, Kevin. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much. And our NACSMA members, I think, will be excited to see this conversation and reach out to you as well. Your contact information, NACSMA members, for Kevin is below. And we look forward to more conversations with Kevin on what he does at his organization and his expertise. Kevin, thank you so much for your time today.
Stephen, thank you so much for letting me be on. And I look forward to helping out anybody that might look forward to an opportunity for an on hold or an IVR or whatever. But thank you again, Stephen. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.